Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Om. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hare Om. Yesterday we saw Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter and 10th sloka. 10th. Yogi Junjita Satadam Atmanam Rahasi Sthita Ekaki Yata Chittatma Nirasir Aparigraha. How a yogi, the practitioner of yoga, not who is already established on yoga, the seeker, the mumukshu, has to retire to solitude. And about solitude we have seen in different ways how solitude should be used, by whom, when, how, all these we have seen. Be careful to go to solitude, and that is, of course, in the end, it is a very helpful practice. And then, today we shall see, if you retire to solitude, what will you do there? Will you go on roaming about in the forest and enjoy the beauty of the forest? What will you do there? What do you do? What should you do? You have to practice meditation. We are discussing only on meditation, yoga of meditation. So how meditation is possible? What all practices should be undertaken by the seekers, by the practitioners, that we are discussing. So solitude, of course, anyhow, according to your condition, your choice and your situations, you have chosen to go to solitude. Then what will you do there? Sucho dese pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanah natyachritam nati nijam natyuchitam nati nijam chailajinam kusottaram. You have to make a seat for you, and then you have to sit there, practice, or if you have already practiced, then that will be helpful, to sit calmly, just like a stone, for as long as you can. And you know, we have discussed already about the two fast hand practice, that is yama and niyam. After that, comes asana, a steady posture of the body. That is a must. Why? Because our life or day-to-day, daily transactions of life is done by the body, senses, mind, and prana, of course, is energy who activates all these parts of the whole total body. And in this way, we can take it as a triangular cooperative society. One is dependent on the other, supported by the other, and everything. One is related with other in every sense. So, the mind, prana, and the body with the senses, these are the three sides of the triangle. So now, the body is the grosser most, the grossest. So, first of all, we have to control the body. If body is controlled fully well for a long time, then of course prana is required, bound to be steadied. And when prana is steadied, because bodily function is not there, so prana has got no activity. Naturally he has to stop by and by, and then the mind has to come to your clutches by itself. You will do as you like with the mind. Mind has got no other chance to get out, to slip out from your clutches. So, these are the skills of yoga, how to control the mind. Our aim is to bring the mind to one point and make it steady for a long time. That is our aim of meditation. That is what meditation is meant. Now for that, in the house, in daily routine work of our life, we don't get such chance to keep the body steady for a long time. We have to move the body to do various actions, and that is a must. And it is not so easy to practice it in your common day-to-day situations. So it is advised you should retire to some solitary place where no disturbance you can face. Outward difference will be zero. So there you can practice, and so to keep the body steady, what do you need? A steady cushion. If you are sitting on a beautiful Dunlop seat, then you cannot sit steadily. It will be this side, that side, you will fall down when you have no control. So it must be something very steady. And when you sit for a long time, naturally, there will be created an energy. It is not by the prana, but by itself. How? If you are going speedily going somewhere by some car or in a cycle or by a motorcycle or running speedily, and all of a sudden there will be break. What happens? What happens? There will be friction, and what is the result? There will be fire, heat is produced. That heat is called Yogagni. And what happens actually? We know the prana activates in the body in different parts in different ways, so it is named differently according to its activities in different parts of the body. So it is named as prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, etc. Samana always try to keep a balance in the activities, and mainly it remains at navel. And prana works mainly above navel, and apana generally it works below navel. But of course prana has to take care of below portions also, and apana also has to activate on the upper region. But their territory is fixed. Just as your police people, they can go to other state by permission, and they can do their job there in other states, but their territory is already fixed. There they are free to do anything and everything. This is how the regions are allotted to all these sections of pranas. And when there is all of a sudden a break, so prana and apana, they have friction. And generally a heat is created because they have to do the main job of the body. Apana have to work in the upper region to remove the excreta from nose, all the unnecessary things from the eyes, from the ear. Its work is to clear up everything, to throw up unnecessary garbage in the body. That is its duty. So it has to work all over the body, but its real region is below navel, because men putting out means urine and the stool. Of course we sweat and we have to clean our nose, mouth also. Everywhere the apana has to help. So in this way, when one enters into the other territory and there is friction, naturally there will be some tug of war, and there will be some heat. That is called Yogagni. That's how, if it burns with full energy, it can burn the whole body. That's how the yogi gives up his body by Yogagni. But one has to be trained to bear that heat. The whole body will turn into ashes. Many such examples we have from the epics. वो जो सबरी थी, the lady in the woods was waiting for Ram's darshan. Her father told her, wait here, Ram will come one day or other, and when you meet him, your life's tamanna, desire will be fulfilled, and then you can follow me. Saying that, father left his body. So Sabari was waiting. Matangi, she was told. Some name, Matang Rishi. Matang's daughter. She was daughter and disciple also. Similarly, many other cases are there. Those who left the body by practice of Yoga Agni. Just as Yoga Nidra, we can cool down and then you can go to sleep nicely where you have such awareness, not deep sleep like our common sound sleep. That's why Yoga Nidra is a must to practice. And here we have to see that heat should be controlled. It is not to be wasted. So bodily heat should not be transferred to earth or to other objects around you. You should not touch anything. That is, your energy is withheld with you. That should be, that's how, where you sit, you should be very, very careful. Your heat should not be discharged to the other objects. It should be preserved in the body itself. Keeping this in view, in the clean spot, having established a firm seat, it should be very set, stable, firm, of his own, neither too high nor too low. Too low means your heat will be transferred to the earth, and too high means there may not be any balance. So both the points should be considered. Made a cloth. The seat should not be too high, not too low, and made a cloth, a skin and kusa grass, one over the other. A clean cloth should be spread underneath, and then a skin. This is a complicated mark is there. Skin? Skin of whom? Human skin? No. Tiger skin or the deer skin. Will not this deer skin our borrowed, we say, some big deer, they are found in cold region, in snowy region. No, not jack. Borrowed, no, white. Borrowed, they say, and its hairy skin will be so thick and so warm. If you sit over it for half an hour, you will feel heat in your body. It is so hot. Sometimes I heard some presented by some hilly people. It is so hot, so thick, very good. And some other kinds of deer are found here, and in all over the country, everywhere you can say. The deer skin is taken as the non-conductor of heat, and also the tiger skin. They withhold heat and cold easily without any hesitation. Even in the snowy region and in hot summer days in tropical places, nothing happens to them. Non-conductor of heat and cold. So these type of skins should be used. Purpose should not be forgotten. Huh? No other animals are so sattvic and so fit for the purpose. All our seers and saints, they have done research on every points. Just they give you something and they don't explain everything because it is something very subtle matters. Common people will not understand so much. Who knows what is called non-conductor? So it is just said, you have to follow. That's all. Now the question comes, are you a yogi? Are you practicing non-violence and killing some animals for your use? No, you should not kill it. Already killed, so you are encouraging killing if you use it. Because you use it, that's why they kill them. Many times here the shooters, the hunters, they come silently, hidingly, and they ask me, Swamiji, will you like a leopard skin? No, it is illegal. That's why I also didn't encourage them. I didn't keep it. Many times, many people come and ask me, Swamiji.
Shiv Swarup went to jail for that.
Shiv Swarup, yes. He went to jail. He was very much curious. Somebody gave it. Of course, he didn't purchase, but he heard it. And some forest people caught him and sent him into jail. He tried to explain the reality, but nobody was ready to hear him. So, what to do and how to do? In olden days, it was not illegal because there were so many wild animals. It was said to be a good right work for the kings go for hunting the black deer. Black deer are very notorious and they always eat away all these crops of hilly people. So they should be killed. They were in large number in the olden days, and that's why it was legal to kill them for the good of the society. But now the time has changed and everything has changed. So now what to do? What to do?
Blanket.
Yes, yes. Instead of this blanket or strong, very thick carpet, carpet cushions. Chandrasekhar ji has given me 2-3 such cushions from Bhutan, from Assam, and these good cushions, they are very stable and non-conductor, everything you can use it. And many other alternatives are there, you have to find it out. And in this way, the skin should be over the clean white cloth underneath. And then over that should be a grass cushion. What grass? There are some particular grass which is said to be very, very good for health, and it is used in other you see, worships of gods in temples and in other rituals by the Brahmins. It is called kusa. Kusa. It is not other grass. Kusa is said to be very, very non-conductor, and it is grown in such place, and it is taken as sattvic object, and it is used everywhere in puja and other rituals. So that grass should be taken and made a cushion. We get it.
We also call it
Darbha. Darbha also. Kusa, Darbha, many other names are there. So this grass out of which this cushion is made, that is said to be very, very good for this purpose. So this should be above everything. So that way it is not soft. So you should not use something which skin likes to have. No. So now in such a seat, you should sit. In this verse, the Lord has prescribed the external seat for practicing meditation. Details of the pose are given in verse 13. We are going on discussing over all these point by point. Now we are discussing the sloka 11. Afterwards we shall come to it. Spread the kusa grass on the ground first. Kusa grass in the, we just told just the opposite. Kusa grass on the ground. Over this spread a tiger skin or a deer skin. Over this spread a white cloth. Sit on a naturally clean spot, such as the bank of a river, or make the place clean wherever you want to practice meditation. Okay, now seat is ready. Are you ready to sit over it? कुछ आ रहा है भाई. Now how to sit over it? Tatrikagram manah kritva. Yata chittendriya kriya upavisyasane yujyat yogam atmavisuddhaye. The purpose is to purify yourself. And don't ask what is the meaning of the self now. We have discussed it several times. It changes its meaning. So first self is body, second higher self is senses, still higher mind, still higher intellect, and beyond it the Supreme Self. For the purification of self, you should sit there having made the mind one-pointed, with the actions of the mind and the senses controlled. Let him seated on the seat, the practitioner, practice yoga for the purification of the self. And don't forget what is the meaning of purification. What is the meaning? Purification means going towards the center from manyness to the oneness. That is called a purificatory process. Many means much confusion and adulteration, mixture. That is called panchikarana of this world. Everything is mixed up. But we should go towards the center, that is one center. So slowly purifying the self means mind, body, senses and prana, everything should come to a point, one point. Slowly it will happen. So keeping that in the mind, one should sit on that cushion. Our purification is the motive now. That means oneness. The self means the mind here. The real supreme self is the Atman. This is primary mukhya, primary self. Mind also is self. Now we were discussing. But this is used in a secondary sense. Gauna. Mukhya Atma is Brahman, or the highest self. Gauna Atma is the mind. Mind also holds the body and the senses, because mind alone cannot do anything. Make the mind one-pointed by controlling, by collecting all its dissipated rays of the practice of yoga. Withdraw it from all sense objects, pratyahara, again and again, and try to fix it steadily on your lakshya. Whatever is your aim, that mind one-pointed thought should be fixed again and again. They give some example of withdrawal of mind. Examples. Many examples, of course, they give. Just as a cow, now presently it has given a calf. We cannot allow her to go away from us, because sometimes she wants to meet its calf. So we take it to nearby pasture and put a peg there, and with a long rope we tie it here. So she will be grazing grass all around, but it is tied up. It cannot get out of the area. So it is under control. If it goes out, it is drawn towards the peg, so it has to come. Now the kite, when you try to put the kite up slowly, the sting is in your hand. So it is under your control at all conditions. It may go here and there by the sway of wind, but yet it is under your control. It cannot go out of your control. Or they give the example of a bird caught which is in the trap, but it is for some time we put the bird on the higher some pillar. Over it we have fixed a place and put some grains over it, and we have tied the legs with the pillar, long rope. Sometimes it has to fly, or else it is always closed in the trap, so it must feel little freedom. Gone. Gone. So in that case, to give it little freedom, we put it on that pillar. If it wants to fly, how long? It will be the area of the length of the rope it is tied. It cannot go as it likes. So in this way, this mind should be always tied up with the central goal. That thought should be always be aware of, and then only it comes again and again towards the center and goes again and again out. This is how we have to withdraw the thoughts of the mind. And also the other example, very well known, Kurmanga niva sarvasaha, as the leaves of a tortoise is withdrawn inside, and it is quite safe inside. Nothing can happen to it. In this way, one should practice withdrawal of the mind, sitting on that cushion. Gradually, you will have concentration of the mind or one-pointedness. You must be very regular in your practice. Only then will you succeed. So why don't you put the question, how long it will take? How long it will take? 1 week is enough. 1 month, 1 year. My dear, one life is not counted here. You should have patience. Patience. Some such Guruvai once practiced rigidly some rules and regulations for 10 years, prescribed by Gurudev in some book, in Japa or something. After 10 years, when he got nothing, he came with anger. Gurudev, You have written all wrong things in your books. I cannot believe it. So Gurudeva smiled at him. Yes, my dear, what has happened? What have I written? Now this is what, see this book. And I have practiced it so literally, to every point, to every minute. Everything I have followed so rigidly. And after 10 years, I have got nothing, no experience. What is this? All this bogus nonsense. I am not going to believe it. So Gurudev laughed. My dear, 10 years only. Why are you dispirited? It is just starting, beginning. 10 lives may not be sufficient for you. It depends upon your impurity also. How much impure your mind was? Did you consider it? Huh? You just complain. 10 years you have done such rigid practice. Did you ever think of your impurities? How many lives you have accumulated all these wrong things, garbage? Did you ever think over it? Many such stories are there. All these only for your encouragement. You have to be so regular, so faithful. You should have self-confidence and regularity in practice, faith on yourself and your Guru and God. Everywhere you should have faith. One day or other, you are bound to achieve the success, the goal. 1,000 times you may fail, but for 1,000 first, you are bound to succeed. Have patience. Patience is your real friend here. Patience is your friend. As much patience you have, so much you are successful in your life of spirituality. Not only spirituality, even in a worldly life, patience is your friend all the time. Even in business, yes, business also, patience will give you profit. Yes. In farming, patience will give you profit. Everywhere in life. So don't think some particular period of time is allotted for it. You have to do regular practice in your attempts. Only then will you succeed. Regularity is of paramount importance. You should know the ways and habits of the mind through daily introspection, how the mind works, how it cheats you, how it acts against you, how it sometimes acts enemically with you, how it forces you to do something, how it argues with itself and takes the decision. All these tricks of the mind one should be aware of, and that is possible only when one is continuously, regularly, 24 hours watchful on himself, means over his mind. Every moment, what are you thinking? What are you speaking? What are you doing? They should coincide with each other, or else take it for granted the mind is cheating you. And you will not succeed, but you will lose. Your practice is good for nothing. So if you are not watchful, if you are not aware of yourself, then do as much as you like, practice as much rigid some practices for long time, nothing will do. That's why this is most important point what is written here, given here. One should be always watchful. Then only you know the tricks of the mind, and then only you can control it and withdraw it again and again. You can force it. Just as a spy. What do the spies do? Secretly, they watch the whereabouts of the culprits. How do they walk? Where do they live? And what do they do? And how do they talk among themselves hidingly somewhere? Nobody will hear. All these should be noticed point by point, every now and then. Then only a time will come, you will catch them. Or else you are a failure. In this way, you should know the ways of habits of the mind through daily introspection, self-analysis or self-examination. For this, our Gurudev used to prescribe every student of every ashramites to write daily diary, spiritual diary. Every moment should be written down. What have you done, and what is your daily routine? Are you doing the needful, or you are diverting from your track? Withdraw the mind. You should know the ways and the habits of the mind through daily introspection, self-analysis or self-examination. You should have a knowledge of the laws of the mind also. Laws of the mind means the laws of the nature also. If you know your mind, you know the laws of the nature. Then only when act according to nature, then it will be easy for you to check the wandering mind. When you sit for meditation and when you deliberately attempt to forget the worldly objects, all sorts of worldly thoughts will crop up in your mind and disturb your meditation. You should know where the mind is more attracted, where all the choices of the mind why, how, all this should be understood thoroughly. You will be quite astonished. Old thoughts that you entertained several years ago and old memories of the past enjoyments will bubble up and force the mind to wander in all directions. You will find that the trap door of the vast subconscious mind is opened, or the lid of the storehouse of thoughts within is lifted up, and the thoughts gush out in a continuous stream. That's how my mind goes out. The more you attempt to steal them, the more they will bubble up with redoubled force and strength. Be not discouraged, nil desperandum, never despair. Through regular and constant meditation, you can purify the subconscious mind and its constant memories. Practice regularity, sincerity, tenacity. All these are of very much helpful habits you should practice. The fire of meditation will burn all thoughts. Be sure of this. Meditation is a potent antidote to annihilate the poisonous worldly thoughts. Be assured of this. Of course, now we don't have enough time to go further. We shall discuss it tomorrow. Little more on this. You see, these worldly thoughts, they are so established in our subconscious mind. As much as you try your best, they will not be subsided. So, what hard labor should we do again and again? Why it is so strong? Because since long, nobody knows since how long, we are practicing the same thing since our childhood. We are practicing the same thing without knowing what we are doing. Without knowing, our mind goes somewhere. Our vision is fixed somewhere. See, watch yourself when you go through a busy market, how your eyes and ears and your nose trace out where the good rasgullas, all those chowmin and pasta is ready. Charts. They are always in search of their objects. You are going for some cloth piece or some stationery from the bookshop, but your mind, your eyes, your ears and your nose, they are doing their work. Alas, how difficult it is to control the mind. This is what they say, hosh mein raho, hosh mein raho. Be aware, be aware. Every moment. Can you say you are climbing some mountain? You have climbed up to the last end, some few feet are there to reach the peak. And now you are overwhelmed with joy. Now I have been able to reach the peak. Oh, glory to me. And by that time you are slept. Your leg is little slippery. It was put on a tottering, slippery stone, and what will happen? दिल गलती कर बैठा है गलती कर बैठा है दिल बोल हमारा क्या होगा again you have to try from the foothills. This is what happens. That's why there is every danger, every step, very, very careful awareness and very much attentive mind, presence of mind is required. Every moment what the mind thinks, how the eyes are moving from here and there, and what are they doing, and what are the ears are doing. Senses are always free. You have not controlled anything. How do you expect to get something, some siddhis? Aha, siddhis. The siddhis are far, far away, my dear. If you can sit for 1 minute calmly and your mind is steadied, a great achievement in this life. Be satisfied. But don't give up the practice. That is not enough. Tomorrow we shall see further on this only. How to watch the mind? What does it do? What are the ways of mind? How it cheats you, slips away from your clutches. 2 दिन की चांदनी फिरे 4 दिन की चांदनी फिर अंधेरा छाएगा फिर अंधेरा छाएगा महाकाल के चुंगल से टाइम डज एवरीथिंग कभी न छूट पाएगा हाँ जी if you can get rid from my clutches, then you are safe. Thank you, Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai Krishna Bhagavan ki jai Gita Mata ki jai Hari Om